Previously on Follow the Leader.
So, if we're going through relationships first, I will ask, when you needed help, how did I aid you? And if I just pick who I'm asking that of, I think I will ask that of Theo.
Theo is a very scrawny person. So I think, like, maybe he ran into some people and he could not get away fast enough.
I'm very happy with that. So my flaw is that I want to help everyone. And having that manifest as being a weird robotic superhero that walks around the below is very much my shit.
Hey, Mab, how do you feel about that? Who do I know is nothing but trouble being Davey? Because of
I
the
can't even
effect.
pretend to be offended because he is unintentionally trouble.
That's what I mean. Like, he's a catalyst for stuff happening.
What did you steal from me?
I mean, could be anything, because Theo is a little junk crafter. So, it wouldn't be anything like weapons. Could have just been something as simple as medical supplies.
Yeah. Minos, when did you stand up to me?
Yes, that is. I looked at the Thunder playbook and I was hoping to answer that one. It could very easily be that I stood up to you when I stepped in between an altercation between your gang and Davey. Not Davey, Theo. After Theo stole the medical supplies, we could just loop into all of these different things.
Mm-hmm.
We now return to your game, already in progress. And we're ready to frame our first scene. Which
Oh my god.
I know, right?
It's been a while.
So the next thing that we do is we frame scenes. Who is the scene framer and what the scene is about varies. As a summary, you run through these steps, but you skip step 1 on your first scene and skip to step 3 for each focal character's first scene. So the steps are, is there something that obviously burningly needs to happen in the next scene? If so, an appropriate person frames the scene around that.
If the focal character wants to accomplish something or interact with someone, they frame a scene around that.
If the focal character wants to activate a weakness, or if a situation player wants to make trouble for them, then the person whose situation will be causing trouble frames the scene around that.
If nobody chose one or of the above options, someone asks a focal character a question about their everyday life, and the focal character frames a scene aimed at answering the question.
So, Zachary, is there a weakness you'd like to activate to kick us off? Or should a situation character try to make trouble with you?
I think I have a weakness that could start this situation. So I've been here a while, and I am short on resources. And the resources I think specifically I am short on is maintenance materials. The longer I am here, the worse I work, because I am a robot. And so, how do I frame that? I don't know if there's much dialogue to be had in this sort of scene, but like, I have like a little tiny apartment, with a chair and and an outlet, and I've got like little toolkits with stuff that runs out. Some sort of not usable. A material that is used up in the process of maintenance, and I'm like doing my routine maintenance for the day, and I look to the bucket that I keep all of the materials in, and it is almost empty. And so I need either to replace what I've got, or I need to finish my mission, or I will cease to function.
Do you have like a hookup in the area that you get it from when you start to run low?
That's a good question. I think the only person that I would... Who do I know who can get things?
Well, I happen to have this move. When you put your trust in me to fix a problem for you, I can gain a token. So I'm here for you, buddy.
Mm-hmm. So I think it's like I'm like sitting at this desk, fixing like scraps in my arm. I've got some sort of metal gel that I use to fix up dings and scratches and cuts in my metal plating from all of the nonsense that I get pulled into, and I squeeze out the last tube onto my arm and like start to like work it in so that the metal knits together, and then I reach into my bucket for the next tube, and there is nothing in the bucket, and I keep like reaching for a while, and then I take my hand out and I say, "Oh no!" And then it cuts to me at Theo's place, wherever that is.
I think Theo's place, they share it with their sister, and it's literally just like a very small hole in the wall kind of a vibe. They do not spend much time there, if I have to, and most of the space is dominated either by the bunks where they sleep on one side, and what is Theo's working area because of the junk crafting. And I think in this part of the below, because this is definitely a have-nots kind of a section, like it's like communal, like water pumps and like where you go to get clean and stuff like that, sort of like an old tenement building kind of vibe, like a bunch of people all share like the same like bathing facilities and stuff like that. And Theo is tinkering with something. Like the little really cheap flickering UV lamp is there providing light and essential vitamin D. And there's the other lamp, which is brighter and obnoxious, which provides no vitamin D, but is so you don't go blind. Totally. Trying to work in dim light.
Is Theo short for Theodore, or is it just Theo?
It might have been short for something, but they don't know what it was short for because the parents are not around anymore, so it's been just Theo for a long time.
Okay. Because I feel like Minos is fairly formal, yes.
It's Theo Delaney, if Minos was so inclined to use the full name. But
I know what I can do. So
okay.
So there is a knock at the door. Miss Delaney, I require your assistance.
Theo sort of blinks twice, as in, am I hearing what I'm hearing? Oh shit, there's somebody at the door. And gets up and opens the door. Hey, hi, how can I help?
I have expended my current stash of nanomicrobial healing gel. I require a transfusion. If I do not receive this transfusion, I will die.
Okay. I do not have any of that. Could I make it? Do you know if I could make it? Is there an ingredients list on your old one? Could I?
Very stiffly reaches in. So I'm wearing concealed armor, but I think that just is my armored body. And over that, I'm wearing a cable knit sweater and jeans and work boots.
I love this robot man.
I love this robot man.
They're carpenter jeans, so they got all sorts of pockets on them.
Yes.
So I reach into my thigh pocket and I pull out the used up tube, and it's basically like a toothpaste tube.
Mm-hmm.
But it is filled with a shiny, like silvery black gel that is nanomachines that knit back together my body when it begins to take damage, which is fairly often in the below.
Mm-hmm.
Also, when he says "I will die," that is in the macro scale. I will no longer be able to heal.
Yeah.
I will cease to function.
Okay. I think Theo will take the tube, flips it over, looks at the ingredients, and just like lets out this. I cannot make that, but I can find you some. I will need some time. Okay. I think I know somebody. Yeah, no, I know somebody. They got a shipment in not too long ago. I managed to skim something off the top. I think I can go trade for something. Yeah.
In which ways can I be of an assistant?
Oh, I mean, you could come with. Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, and maybe if you get to know them, you could sort of set up your own connection if this happens again. Do you need this a lot?
I require it to regain functions every time I experience damaging wounds.
Oh, so yeah, probably a lot then. Okay. Okay, I know the guy.
I will come along. I will get a hookup.
Okay. And I think Theo is going to take Minos to my other person that I have in my not my relationships. Where did it go? Where's the? I have a trusted friend who is a relatively complete newcomer, but as we talked about how there are lots of comings and goings and always people coming back and forth, a guy called Palmer Davies. Thank you, Don John. If somebody wants to be Palmer Davies, they can be, or we can extrapolate this.
Although, as we walk, I say, by the way, have you seen The Lost Prince?
Is this the first time you've asked me, or is this something you ask me every time you see me?
I ask you every single time.
Okay.
I should have opened with it, honestly. It should be the first thing he asks every person he meets.
This is very good. Not today, but believe me, when I do, I will be right on my way to see you.
Thank you, Miss Delaney.
It's fine. And Theo just smiles because this actually hasn't gotten boring yet. They genuinely like Minos. So they're just like, okay, the big guy's going to ask the question. I really wish I had a different answer. Just like, that is just a very fat baby. I don't know what he wants me to do with this information.
It doesn't even have hair. That would be helpful. No, it's a bald like, baby.
Bald baby. Okay.
No, do any of you guys read Check Please? Oh my god, Check Please.
I read like the first few volumes, but I fell off because I read all of it that was out a couple years ago.
There's a picture that is in it of Jack Zimmerman, and they have, and it's just
right.
the baby Jack Zimmerman, and that's just what I pictured.
With the very intense blue eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This baby is the Stanley Cup champion.
Mab or Dora, do either of you want to introduce a complication as we sort of make our way around looking for Palmer?
How are complications introduced?
Anyone can just do it.
Like it's karma style?
Situation moves. Is that situation moves?
No, it's a separate thing to situation moves. It's just any player, if you're not the primary or playing your situation, can introduce a complication. Though if you're playing the situation, you can do a situation move.
Okay, I see. Anyone may add complications to what you narrate, how you fall short, a price you pay, unintended consequences, how you get more than you bargained for.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's something related, like that affects our trek to Palmer Davies' shop, or wherever Palmer Davies is set up, or something. I don't want to tell anybody else what to do.
I love when Dora makes that noise. Something interesting always happens.
What if the station guards people are shaking down Palmer Davies right now?
Oh no. It's very good is the thing.
So you have to figure out how to misdirect them or get them to leave or secretly communicate with Palmer Davies to get what you need.
I like how everyone has to refer to Palmer Davies by the full name.
Yeah, it's now Palmer Davies.
Fantastic.
I love it.
Yeah, do you want to set, like, what do we see? What does Palmer Davies' abode look like? And two, what does this shakedown take the form of?
Do you want to take that, Dora, as you're the situation as well? Because arguably this is a community thing.
I think maybe Palmer's abode is like almost a shanty. I think part of that is just because, like, did we decide if Palmer was masculine?
Yeah, mask.
Okay.
Mask presenting at least.
Yeah, so I think his abode is like almost like a shanty in a darkened corner. Like, he tries to keep it low key, but it's an open secret that he trades and stuff, so that's why he's getting shaken down. Station security is trying to make sure that he doesn't have any contraband at this point. So there's probably like one of the security members is posted up outside, but the door's open and you can see like another security person talking to him very sternly.
Oh no. That's bad.
Mix Delaney, shall I intervene?
Could you distract? And, nothing too severe. I can just give me a window and I can get round the back.
There's a window in the front of the building.
Mm-hmm.
I will talk to them.
Okay. And just like pats you on the arm and just like takes a breath. Okay.
So Minos straightens. Well, no, Minos is always standing as straight as possible. Minos marches down as he always does. Very surprisingly soft footfalls for an 8-foot tall robot man. Also my touchstone, my appearance for Minos is Clifford Steele, or Robot Man from DC Comics. He is currently being played by Brendan Fraser in the Doom Patrol TV show.
Nice.
Oh, Brendan Fraser.
So he's just a very big, broad, bulky man made of metal, and so I wanted to get that out there. So I walk up. Minos walks up to the security officer standing outside and says, "Officer, is there a problem this evening?"
Dora, do you want to be the officer or do you want to be Palmer Davies?
I'll take the officer if you take Palmer.
Sure.
And the officer is just like, that is no concern of yours, citizen. Back away.
Oh, my apologies. I'm not a citizen. I'm a diplomatic emissary of the...
We're going with Elsinore. Just call it Elsinore.
I'm a diplomatic. I am a royal emissary of the Elsinore kingdom. This man is necessary for my ongoing functions. I would ask that he is unharried.
While this is going on, I'm not using spending this token to activate it, so complications can still occur. But I am using my strength of sneaky to get round to the back of Palmer Davies's shanty and sort of like slip, because I'm also incredibly thin and malnourished, and just like slip in through the back. And sort of I'm lurking in the back of I can't just say Palmer. I can't bring myself to do it in the back of Palmer Davies' shack.
It's fine.
And I think maybe catches Palmer's eye as he gets in there and just like holds a finger up to their lips. Just sort of like big eyes. For what it's worth, the sort of my main face claim for Theo is Tom Holland.
Good.
So, big eyes.
Big eyes.
Big eyes. Frog in the mouth.
Yeah.
God. I think Palmer Davies is currently just in the middle of a tirade, and just kind of makes it louder as soon as he sees Theo, and more dramatic, and there's hands flinging everywhere, and there's just gesticulating, in all sorts of different directions, and he's going, I don't think you understand what kind of legitimate business I'm trying to run here. I come down here, and I open up a storefront, and I think that, what do the people need? And I get what the people need, and here you are, interfering with what the people need. And so on and so forth.
Oh, Mab, I've missed playing with you. It's been too long.
It's been a long time. You can't see all my dramatic hand gestures as I, too, am gesticulating.
I can hear them.
And feel them.
Yeah, and the guard or the security person who's harassing Palmer's just like rolling their eyes and is just like, please calm down, citizen. This is a standard inspection. All vendors on this level are being inspected at this time, which I think everybody knows is a complete lie, but
If it tracks that there is something that Palmer really should... I've ruined it now. But if there's something there that Palmer Davies really doesn't want them to find, also the thing I'm after, if it's feasible that Theo knows exactly what Palmer Davies does, if, does a sort of gesture of, what can I hide? And just, give me a signal, I'll take it out the back, along with the thing I need. Especially because it's specified on my play, but this is a trusted friend. So I feel like this is somebody that Theo knows well.
Yeah. I think then he goes on to say, you come into my shop, you say you're making a routine inspection as if I have smuggled ancient artifacts from a hidden temple. Pointedly, very probably does.
Jeez. On that, I think Theo just face palms very quietly. And goes to where they know is Palmer Davies's little secret cubby, and just sort of pops it open. And I definitely imagine the clothes Theo wears is full of pockets. There's obviously a really beaten up messenger style bag, and he's just sort of very quickly putting stuff in, and just also looking round for the robot equivalent of Bacta gel. And just looking around for that, just grabs a tube of what looks like it, and also puts that in there too, and does a little thumbs up and sort of goes back out the way they came.
Mm-hmm. You can hear Palmer Davies' voice following you into the streets.
Mm-hmm.
Follows you everywhere.
You wake up in a cold sweat and he's just ranting about something.
Yeah, I'll sort of loop back round and try and get into Minos' eye line while he's having this conversation with a different guard.
Mm-hmm. Minos is starting to, he looks around the guard at Palmer Davies' increasing gesticulation and leans back and says, for your safety, I must inform you that that my mission has been validated by the highest levels of Elsinorian municipality. I'm authorized in the use of force in the completion of my duties. I would kindly request that authorization is not required in this engagement. And then Theo goes into his eye line and gives him the thumbs up, and he says, That authorization is not required in this engagement, and walks away.
Distantly, you hear something crashing inside of Palmer Davies' shop. You don't know if he threw something. You don't know if the guard did something.
I step, and stop, and pivot on my heels. What was that? Mr. Davies, are you in danger?
I'm in danger of throttling a man if he does not get out of my shop.
May I suggest that scene, because that seems like a really fun place to cut it.
I dig it. I dig it a lot.
Oh boy! I was looking for names for words. I've now got Hamlet open in another tab.
This is what we've done to ourselves.
Okay. You say a thing for after a scene just to check that you've done everything right. If relationships need to be checked, weaknesses, I'm just looking for it in the play guide.
Watch out for someone doing something risky or challenging. Someone uses a weakness for the first time. Did I activate my weakness? Was that what that was?
Yes, you did. So you need to mark it too.
I marked my weakness.
Yeah, here it is. After every scene, we look back on the events of the scene to decide if any of the characters displayed their heart. What that means is they let another player see their true self or their heartfelt feelings. A character can display their heart by how they talk, through their actions, or more subtle indication. They might do it deliberately or without meaning to. Once someone displays their heart, it's up to the other character to decide what effect it had. Did it bring them closer? Did it push them apart? Or did it change their relationship? If the answer to any of these questions is yes, then both characters get to mark their relationship. When the third box is marked, you get to permanently improve your character. You can also mark your weaknesses, as we just discussed. And it also advises that it's a good opportunity to check if the special moves on your playbook were triggered and resolve them if you haven't already. And I think we did both, Theo and Minos got to do that in that one. Because Minos definitely got involved. What else do I...
So I got one for being drawn, a token for being drawn into the below. Did I also get one for activating my weakness?
I don't know whether do you get a token for activating your weakness?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Then yeah. I don't think I specially activated either of mine, and I don't feel like there was much displaying of heart on Theo's part. I don't know about Minos.
True self or heartfelt feelings. I mean, I just did all the stuff that I usually do.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if that's... Minos doesn't feel particularly deep at the moment. But
Okay.
that could be revealed.
Okay. My turn to frame a scene. Wouldn't mind doing so. You got an idea?
I'm sorry, I keep going ooh.
No, don't. I love it. The ooh is a good thing.
We're talking about social rules, which include taboo, superstitions, etc. So, what if part of the reason that Theo's an outcast is because, like, there was some sort of taboo related to their birth? And so maybe seeing how that sort of prejudice manifests.
I'm down. Does anybody want to bring their primary into this scene? Or do we want to introduce some secondary characters? Does somebody want to play... I shouldn't just be crude and call him Dickface, because that's not his name.
Linwood.
Linwood, yeah. Especially if Linwood is like... I'm a very crude individual. Yeah. If somebody... Do we want to have something with Linwood Drayton? Sort of get that character on screen? Like, especially if this is a figure who's, like, part of Davy's community. Davy's following, sorry. And with this, we talked about all these catalyst things changing and attitudes, like things being drawn in the sand. And especially if, like, Linwood doesn't like Theo, that might be a way to add legitimacy to Linwood's beef with Theo. If there is this taboo thing about Theo's birth, or the circumstances thereof. So... Anyone want to play Linwood? Or is this one of these ones where we don't necessarily because sometimes you don't necessarily have to. No, this one you do have to fully RP things. I'm getting mixed up with some of the other systems we've played, where you can just describe a scene in the abstract. I mean, because obviously somebody doesn't have to be the same person playing a character every time.
Right.
So.
Yes.
But I mean, if Palmer Davies comes back, no one else, only I.
No, well, no, that's yours now, Mab. I wouldn't dream of taking him away from you. He's one of your secondary characters now to use as you see fit.
Thank you. I think I've got Linwood. I think I've got it.
Excellent. So what are we thinking? Is this like post a meeting? Is this during a meeting of Davy's people? I mean, Davy could even be there if you want. Or is this after? Because I did say that Theo makes a habit of sneaking into these meetings.
I'm fine with either.
To be fair, you're going next, so if you want to hang fire on this one.
So how about this is maybe after a service of some kind, and so you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Or
like
a rally, a pep talk.
Yeah, after a rally. And so the crowd is dissipating, and Linwood catches a glimpse of Theo hanging out in the edges, and just sort of, I'm imagining Linwood as this kind of tall, like maybe 6 foot tall individual with like really sharp features and just a dour.
Played by Paul Bettany?
Yes. Very good. And he spots Theo and just goes kind of like strides over and says, "Mix Delaney, it's a pleasure as always to see you here."
Because Theo was not expecting to be caught. Because Theo is normally quicker than this and getting out. Maybe like part of their clothes got caught on something and they've been trying to unhook themselves delicately without like pulling a wall down or something daft like that. And just like, "Mr. Drayton, I was just leaving. Just sort of goes to leave very quickly."
Oh.
Or tries to.
There's no need to rush. You're always welcome here. It's good to see that one of your standing is willing to... And he pauses and kind of sneers and is just like, "Better yourself."
I mean, Theo just sort of stops. Because, like, I don't know, like, I think growing up in the area where knowing people think less of you, in a place where people don't think much, there are plenty of people that already don't think well of your community, and then within your community, you're thought badly of, has to suck. Especially when you rely on them so much. So I think having, like, Linwood of all people push that button just sort of stops and, like, hands clench slightly and they turn around. It's like, "I don't need to better myself, Mr. Drayton, and if I did, there are better ways for me to do it than being here."
I suppose it's to be expected that one of your standing would not be willing to see the light. Why are you even here, Mix Delaney, if you're not here to improve yourself?
Somebody needs to pay attention to what you're doing. And I think there's a very clear indication that Theo was using the "you're" in the singular and not the collective sense.
We're nothing but upstanding members of this community. You can ask anyone.
I could ask the Hawk what she thinks about you and your place in the community.
No better than rabble.
Bet you wouldn't say that to her face.
Now it's time for him to kind of clench his fists.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I feel like that's the point where he just, like, leaves but doesn't say anything because he doesn't believe that Theo's worth saying anything else to.
Damn.
Oof. Doofa.
You said dick face, so this is what happened.
No, I approve. Okay. I think just the camera just lingers a little on Theo in that moment. Just like they thought that they like struck a nerve and they were feeling kind of good about themselves for a moment there, like getting one up on him, and then just sort of it falls apart the moment he's gone and they just look kind of shook and they like flip the hood up on their jackety thing. I imagine it's more like a headscarf kind of a vibe, and just like flip that up and go out the way they came in, just like climb up a pile of stuff on one side and out through a hatch and off. That's the scene.
Poor Theo.
Poor Theo.
Poor child.
I say that as if I didn't have direct impact in like what happened.
I don't feel like that particularly ping. I mean, I have the weakness you're mixed up with a local gang, but I don't think that caused me trouble in this instance.
No.
So, okay, I think that's me. Mob.
I thought you said mob, and I'm like, no, I'm not picking that weakness.
Mom, what do you want?
No, I think I'm probably gonna like start it off with Davy's big weakness of passionately believing his own rhetoric, and he's just finished up this speech. Or he like listening to people also, and he's just kind of like, oh man, I feel so good about everything that we're doing down here, and he's just like, I want to take another step forward, and like is looking to make connections in ways that he hadn't before. So like if Soul wants to have a scene with Davy where he goes to try and appeal to her, or just, we can talk, we can chat, we can be friends and neighbors, and we are all of us friends and neighbors together, right?
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think he like goes to find her, and he's just kind of like, I'm so inspired, I'm gonna go start right now, and immediately like beelines for where he thinks she might be. Like, where does she normally hang out? Is it still a bar? She still just got her own seat?
Oh gosh, yes, absolutely. But the bar's like at the edge of her territory, which is like a defunct industrial zone.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, it's called the Monkey's Uncle, of course, and it's the seediest bar around. And so he definitely finds her at the bar itself, like at the far end of the establishment on a stool, and she's kind of hunched over and nursing a drink like on the rocks. So sometimes she swirls the drink, and you can, if you were close enough, you could hear the ice clinking in the glass.
Davy swans in with his normal level of energy, and obviously looks very out of place here. But he kind of like looks around and spots you, and then immediately just like beelines it over. And it does it in a very loud fashion. So, like, as soon as he sees you, he just goes, Soul, I've been wanting to speak to you. I have had this marvelous revelation. And he just, like, crosses the room very quickly and is, like, already talking to you as he's, like, halfway across the room. And, like, pulls himself up into the seat next to you, apologizes to whoever he, bumps into along the way. And it just goes, I'm glad I found you. I'm glad I found you. Listen, do you have a moment? I want to talk to you about something, like leader to leader.
Speaking of leaders, I don't know that Linwood or any of Davy's following would like Davy being in Soul's bar alone.
No. They would not.
So probably there are a few not quite street toughs, but other resistance members who are kind of keeping an eye. They walked in with Davy but are not performing the same sort of dance that he is.
Mm-hmm. Every time I look, the tokens are slightly more organized.
I keep fiddling with them.
We'll see that are like my little chain of hearts. So Davy like like, sits down in the chair and is immediately, like, ready to talk.
Soul's just like, slow down there, kid. Hold your horses.
Yeah, you know I don't have horses. And he like, I'll have a drink over here, whatever she's having, and another one for her. He doesn't know how this works.
Yeah, the bartender complies. I think Davy gets a double of whiskey on the rocks, and Soul gets another one of those, and feeling like this is going to, take a lot of energy to keep up with Davy. She just downs the whole thing in one go, and she's like, "All right, kid, what do you got?" Oh shit! I lost Soul's voice again. God damn it!
You're angsty. Your family is dead. You like to drink. You wear big leather boots.
All right, kid.
Aight.
Yeah. I'll get it back. I'll get it back
Okay.
as we go.
All right. So we were just having another chat, another meeting down, on the other end, on the West Street, whatever it's called, and we were talking about the idea of shifting the mindset from being like routine and everyday, and we wanted to spice it up a little bit, thinking about like showing ways that we are community and neighbors together, and we were trying to figure out how we would be able to go about and do that, especially because I know you and we've been kind of button heads back and forth and stuff like that, and so I was just trying to like think of good ideas for ways that we could show that we want to work with you because you are our neighbor, and things like that.
And I take a deep breath and I let it out, and I'm just like, "Kid, I know you mean well, and that's why I'm gonna tell you, you're getting close to stepping into some real dangerous shit. I don't want to see you get hurt. As your neighbor, I'm telling you to just keep an eye out. Just keep an eye on your back. Make sure, and she kind of like glances up at the followers who have followed him in. Make sure you know who you can trust to keep an eye on it too."
I don't quite see what that has to do with anything, because I was, talking about a some way to celebrate a union of forces, but okay, I'll keep that in mind.
I'm saying, be careful who you're, whose forces you're joining with.
I meant like yours.
She's obviously very drunk, by the way.
How old is Soul?
I always think that she's in like her mid-30s, maybe pushing 40. Like I said, she's angsty McMahon pain, so
right.
around
I'm like,
around that area.
How much older than Davey is she that she can get away with calling him kid, and he doesn't question it?
Yeah, she's probably pushing 40, so old enough to potentially be his mom.
He's just like, but you don't understand. Like, I want to be able to overcome these hurdles, and they have been here for so long, and not everyone, you in particular right now very pointedly are telling me, watch my back, but I don't understand, Soul, what that has to really do with. That's not a very progressive step forward. It's a warning than it is anything else. Like, what can I do? What can you do that we can bridge this gap between us?
I want to ping something. I think on the rack of drinks behind. Actually, how old was Davy when Davy left a previous life? Like, does he remember his family in this version of Davy?
he was young, like I think like at most it would have been 5 is always how I had imagined it. Like just like all the time it had always been like at most like 5 or 7.
Okay.
But he was young enough that like whoever was kind of like going through and disrupting the royal family was just kind of like, all right, though they made the crucial mistake of it is a baby child. Mm-hmm. Let us not do this to the baby child.
Okay. Well, I think just like in the hustle and bustle of the bar, a bottle gets knocked off the shelf and breaks. And the smell of it just like kicks off this memory in Davy's mind, and it's a smell he remembers from his childhood. He doesn't maybe come to the bars very often, maybe doesn't drink. I'm not trying to make that choice, but like he's immediately taken back to this memory of being with his mother. And this is me like acting as the spirits right now.
Spirits.
Hey-oh. Yep, the spirits first make their appearance in a bar scene. I hate myself and everything I have just done. But yeah, and I think just from what you were just saying about Sol being old enough to be Davy's mum as well, I think I'm just trying to get Davy gets this vibe of like feeling warm and safe and protected, and kind of understands that's what Sol's trying to do in this moment. Mm-hmm. Just like, because that smell is like maternal and protective, and that's just sort of because that's the good thing about scent memory. It's just like it's really evocative, but it isn't always the clearest thing, like attachment wise. And I just like think Davy gets hit with that when this bottle like crashes and the smell hits his nose.
Yeah, he's like definitely in the middle of like saying something, you know. And he immediately just kind of like stops mid-sentence, and his hands are still kind of like held in front of him, you know, in a very like orator fashion, and he just stops and looks to the side for a moment, like towards where the bartender's like shit and cleaning up the mess, and then he looks back at Sol and goes, "I'm sorry, what was I saying?" Something. No, it was important. It was very important. Don't, I'm sorry, Sol. That was rude of me. But think about it.
I'll think about it, but some gaps are pretty wide, and I don't want you falling into one of them trying to build your pretty bridge. That's all.
It will be a simple and functional bridge. You'll see. But we'll make one. And he, like, takes a sip of the drink, kind of makes a face, and then just kind of does like a little, you know, a fist, yeah, we'll do this, and, like, gets up to leave.
Sol takes the remainder of his drink.
Mm-hmm. He, like, very discreetly, but not quite pushed it in your direction, going, like, you can have this. I regret ordering it.
Did he just stiff her?
No, sorry. I meant to have implied that he did pay for both of them.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. It happened in my head, and then I didn't say it.
Okay. I mean, it would have been funny, but
he is a gentleman. Excuse you.
Yeah. Just making sure.
No, he paid for his drink and for the one that he gave you.
Okay. Honestly, I kind of feel like that's revealing our hearts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like in both ends, because Sol was showing that she's really protective of Davy, and Davy was showing like his fervor.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna mark that.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't think I pinged anything in that scene other than that, so...
Cool.
Okay. Sol's on deck.
Oh, it's my turn. Hi, it's Dora, and I just wanted to thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed us, please consider leaving a rating on iTunes, telling your friends about us, or tweeting about our show using the FTLcast hashtag. No, seriously, we crave the validation and it helps us out. Your support really means a lot. Thanks again!